Hello teacher friends, in this video I'm going to show you how to create the Make Your Own Adventure pages. This is what it looks like when it's completed. It looks like just one sheet of paper, and then we will actually cut out and glue the choice pieces to this paper. And it's really fast. The students don't have to cut or glue very much. I'm going to show you how this all works. So students will write the title of their story. They get to make up their own title, who it was authored by, so their name. In this particular story, there's a cruise ship that is going on an island voyage, and all of a sudden the ship stops. It's pulled toward an island and communication devices are not working. The island looks quiet and abandoned. The crew and the passengers start arguing about what they should do. Should they go to the island? Should they stay on the ship? So students get to make a choice. These are kind of like those make your own adventure stories that we used to read when we were kids. So students will choose. So let's say if your student chooses to go to the island, they're going to color in as they make their choices. So when they go to the island, then they have two more possibilities that they can choose from. So on the island, they can leave the emergency boat on the shoreline and walk further onto the island to explore and try to find help. Or they can remain on the shoreline and watch for passing boats or aircraft, write large messages in the sand or on the beach just in case. So I'm going to choose that one. So I'm going to color that in. And now my last part, I just move both of these up. I am going to write the conclusion to my story. So I now as a student get to be creative and write a conclusion for what happens in my story. So most students will have a different story because they made different choices as they moved through the story. And it's fun. It's just something different, a fun writing activity to help students be creative and have something a little bit different to do instead of just writing out on their story on one sheet of paper. So it's super easy to make. Here's what you do. Each student will have 2 sheets of paper, and everywhere that they have to cut, you'll see these very small little scissors. So the second sheet gets cut in half. And like I said, there's very little prep work that goes along with this. On my printer, it made a large section at the bottom, so I'm just going to cut that off. And then my make a choice section will get glued here where it says glue back of make a choice strip here. But I noticed it has a lot of extra white space at the top, so I'm just going to trim that off super quick. And my last couple cutting parts, I have to cut these strips apart. This is where students will have the secondary choices that they make. And if I want, I can cut off this extra white space. Your printer may not make the extra white space, so totally up to you. But it's really fun when the book is all together. Students love it. Okay, so I have to cut apart the first 2 choices. And then I'm just gluing the back of this strip to the hatched lines here. Does anyone else with their 5th graders say, a little bit of glue goes a long, long way? I do, and it really helps. Yes, they're 5th graders, but they will just pile up that glue and make a huge mess. So we sing, a little bit of glue goes a long, long way. Okay, so my first 2 choices are ready, and then all I have to do here it just says place behind the full page and align with bottom, then glue only this strip. So I am just going to do my little tiny dots of glue, and then I'm going to just align it to the bottom and glue it down. And that's it. Now my choose your own adventure activity is ready to go. I would have students make this themselves. If you want to use more than one story, then that will be really easy for students, because once they've created this book once, they'll be able to do it in, I would say, less than a minute. So have fun with this. Hope you love it.